Here's a little video here of this project I'm working on here. It's this two-stroke engine Tecumseh HSK H45 two-stroke cast iron lined cylinder engine here, come off a snowblower. I have a couple of these engines, so it's like, what are you going to do with them? I mean, I can, retrofit them back into snowblowers, but they're just cool engines. They're powerful, they sound nice, and they can be reliable too. I mean, depending on how they're jetted and how you take care of your premix and so on. But I've had them run forever. Yeah. So I've had these engines for years. I mean, they started making these in the 90s, I believe, mid 90s, and they made them right up until the early 2000s. And there's not a whole lot of parts available, but you still can get these engines here in Michigan on snowblowers. People just toss them out or sell them for cheap because the augers go bad. But the engines still keep going. So this particular engine is mint condition and runs real great. So I have another one too, a backup, and they're pretty easy to find around here. So I just made up this mount, this engine mount, and you see how it's on a 45-degree angle. It pretty much has to be if you're going to use these float roll carbs, because it has to sit level. These carbs do. I mean, there's optional carbs you can do, and you can pivot the intake and so on to set it on a 90, but I mean, I don't see the point in that. It's just a little tricky to make up the mount this way, but it's just basically how the engine's designed to sit anyways. It's tricky with these mounts because there is no, like a four-stroke, there are no mounts on the bottom of the engine to secure it. That's just the case. Some case bolts there. So you're kind of forced to mount it, to the side here. And but I think that's going to work. It's real sturdy. It's sitting perfectly square and level, and it actually fits in there real nice. I'm pretty happy with how it fits in there. I might remove this bracket. Just give me a little bit more, this fender bracket, a little bit more movement with the chain when the chain loosens. So, because that's about as far back as I can go. So we'll see. Before I drill my holes, I'll decide on that. And but yeah, so I think that's gonna work pretty good. Aligning my rear sprocket to the clutch, front sprocket, And just how do you get you can take a tape measure or a ruler, and a lot of different ways you can do it. But I decided to use this Lazer straight edge, and I use this for installing tile. And you just run the beam right square with the rear sprocket, and then get lined up with the clutch and the front sprocket, and you can see it's perfect. I don't think there's a better way to do that than a Lazer. And I even scribed a line into the frame that I'm probably going to leave, so when I swap out clutches, now that line is perfectly in reference to what the Lazer's doing, and it just make it easier down the road when I'm swapping out clutches. And when you want to align things, you got just perfectly straight, square reference lines to work off of in relation to the rear sprocket. So yeah, it's just a fun project. I mean, it's something I always wanted to do with two-stroke on a mini bike. A lot of people have. Most people are unsuccessful for whatever reasons. But we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty confident this is going to go up and running. We'll see. A lot of things you got to look at, though. The clutching, gearing, and the jetting. And, these engines don't make a whole lot of torque, but they scream. And you get some high RPMs out of them. And super lightweight. That's only a 20-pound engine, which is half the weight of the 98cc four-stroke that this frame came with originally. So I'll post more videos, and yeah, I think tomorrow I'll probably just fire it up and just to see, yeah, this is just a cheap clutch here. I do have a heavy duty one also, but I'm gonna kind of just mock it up with the cheap one here. Keep my offset the same, so an inch out, so shouldn't be that big a deal when I'm swapping out clutches down the road. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll post another video. But I think the Lazer, if anyone is doing this with trying to get the best alignment from your clutch to your rear sprocket, there's probably no better way than the Lazer. I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.